Welcome back to my Behind the Scenes as a Realtor series. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on one of the most crucial parts of the real estate process, the closing. Now, I had the pleasure to sit down with Travis Henry of Burns, Henry and Kirksey, a top title attorney in Cleveland, and Paige McConnaughy, an experienced closing processor, to give you an inside look at what happens during this final yet pivotal stage of buying or selling a home. From understanding title searches to the coordination of documents, you'll learn why having a skilled team like Travis and Paige is essential for a smooth closing process. Now, for those who are new here, I'm Chris Roberts, a dedicated real estate professional with Realty One Group experts here in Cleveland and Chattanooga, Tennessee. I specialize in helping clients through challenging life transitions, such as those handling inherited properties or navigating divorce-related sales, and people who are relocating to our beautiful area of Tennessee. I'm passionate about making the process stress-free, smooth, and rewarding, using my creativity, passion, and extensive market knowledge. If you're looking for someone who puts your needs first and strives to get the best results, you're in the right place. Get in touch with me today through the link right below in the description, or go ahead and text me at the number that you're going to see right here on the screen in front of you. Now, before we dive in, make sure to click that like button, subscribe, and share this around with anyone that you know who's navigating the real estate world. Your support really helps to bring more valuable content out to those folks too.
My name is Travis Henry. I'm an attorney and partner here at Burns, Henry and Kirksey.
And my name is Paige McConnaughy, and I have been a processor here at Burns, Henry and Kirksey, and right now I'm transitioning into the marketing director.
I think from our perspective, the thing that's missed is that there's a lot to a closing. It is a legal process where someone is formally transferring ownership and all the rights to the property to someone else. It's not like selling or buying a car where they just sign the title over to you. We do a thorough title search, an examination of all the records going back at least 30 years on a particular property to make sure that when someone buys it, that they have clear title. In other words, we're not just hitting print and saying sign here. There is an entire process that takes place, but it's all to protect them. And we often say we want it that way because if we're doing our job, they don't know about that process. They think it's a seamless transition. They show up for a celebration. They're buying or selling a home. That's when we know that we've been successful.
I think that closing date that we're working toward, for the title's perspective, we want that closing to go as smoothly as possible. So we're working towards that date as well. People are moving all across the country or maybe down the street, but we know how important it is. We want to achieve it just as much as they do.
Again, the biggest investment of your lifetime, you don't want to walk away with any doubts or questions and so I think it's really important from the beginning, we're reaching out. We really try to do a great job of communicating, not just with the agents, but directly with the buyer and the seller. They don't need to be afraid to communicate with us. I mean, that's what we're here for, is to help facilitate this. The more information we can get on the front end, the better we can do with that. And so an example of some big things that can happen is if someone has been divorced and we don't know about it. We've had that come out at closing before, where they had taken title as husband and wife, and we're expecting both of them to show up, and we find out they're divorced. Well, that's important because you both hold an interest in that property, and so we need to know about that. There are minor things though that can come up on anything can be fixed on a legal document. That's easy to address. Sometimes folks get very tense and stressed out about if there's something minor that's off, we can fix it. I mean, there's nothing that cannot be fixed. And the key there is just to communicate with us as much as possible. Sometimes, I joke that people don't want to tell us anything because they hope that we don't discover it. That's never good. And so the best option is always to say, hey, just want you to be aware, and most of the time we're going to know about it, we're going to find out about it, but we want to have great communication throughout that process.
I think just asking questions, like if you're concerned about something, we want to be that resource for them. So call us. We have attorneys here, so if there's legal questions that they have, we're happy to get with the attorneys. So just ask any questions. We're happy to take those phone calls. Making sure, that driver's license matches how our legal documents are going to be and matches that deed of trust if they have a lender. So just working through all those little tiny details.
Something that comes up that I think is people oftentimes, I said, they get very concerned about is if they own property jointly as husband and wife. Typically, when a spouse dies, they think that they need an entirely new deed, and they don't. They don't need a new deed. We get that call a lot of, well, my husband died or my wife died, I need a new deed. No, we don't. When you go to sell or you go to refinance, we'll just ask for a copy of the death certificate, and it's fully vested in the spouse at that point. So we're not concerned about it. But that's one of those areas that's minor that folks get very stressed out about, though, and there's no need to do that.
So our office is happy to do title searches ahead of time. So if a seller's getting ready to list it, we're happy to get with the agent and getting a title search done just to see what's going on with the property. So I don't think with the seller, if they're getting ready to list it, there's a time that's too soon for them to start getting that information to us. As far as the buyer, as soon as they're under contract, our office starts reaching out to them. So just being able to take those phone calls or those emails, we like all that information on the front end. I think it helps with a smooth closing process.
Not all title companies are created equal. Some title companies are not going to be proactive. Some title companies do not have lawyers that are on staff that can answer these kind of questions that they may have. And so that's where a buyer and a seller, saying, listen, I want to close at a title company with a lawyer. We prefer Burns, Henry, and Kirksey. That goes a long way. Because as Paige said, if you're selling, we can already have the title search done before you ever get an offer on a property. That way, literally, if you get a cash offer, we're ready to close right away. I mean, we've done that. Close the next day. Building that team, that you've already done a good job getting a good realtor, and making sure that the next step of that is having a title company that's ready, willing, and able to make that happen. I think that's the best thing that they can do.
Now, I hope that you found today's insights from Travis Henry and Paige McConnaughy as fascinating as I did. The expertise of a title attorney and a closing processor can truly make or break a closing experience, and knowing what happens behind the scenes really can empower you as a buyer or a seller. Now, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more inside looks into the world of real estate. And as always, if you're thinking of buying or selling a home or just have questions, feel free to reach out. My contact info is right below and on the screen right here in front of you. And I am always here to help guide you every single step of the way. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.